welcome to Chuck's Diecast Car and Model Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at something different. This is a magazine. It is an online car magazine called Shift Colorado. It's made locally here in Colorado by some car enthusiasts. You can actually download this magazine for free at shiftcoloradomagazine.com, and it is a pretty neat magazine. This is done by just these car enthusiasts. I don't know if they make any money off of it, but it is just kind of a neat little magazine. But why am I showing this magazine? Well, a couple of months ago, I'm over at the Porsche dealer. Some of the sales guys there are buddies of mine, and one of them had actually written an article. Actually, his son had written an article for this magazine, and John says, hey, you should write an article for Shift Magazine, get in touch with them and see if they'd be interested in you writing an article about your model car collection. So I dropped them a line, and they said, hey, that would be a great idea. The funny thing was that the editor, his name's Brendan, gets in touch with me, and he goes, by the way, do you know such and such person? And I'm like, yeah, I do. He goes, well, we actually met about 15 years ago. I met you at a car auction that I was invited to by Tim, and Brendan was interested in bidding on a rather obscure car called a Bitter SC at the auction, which he didn't win, but it's just kind of funny because I had no recollection of him at all, honestly. And if you'd have told me that there was somebody at the auction besides me and my buddy, I didn't even remember there was a third person there. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this magazine here, okay? And we'll take a look at the article that I wrote. So here's the table of contents, and you can see that they do have quite a bit here. My article happens to be on about page 30, so there it is. And I wrote the article as well as took the photos, and I was pretty happy with the photos. Not my best work, but I think they look pretty good, and the article was fun to write as well. I'd actually written some other articles for other magazines in the past, actually. They were both for a magazine called Thoroughbred and Classic Car Magazines. It's a British car magazine that's been out for a while. I happen to be at the Italian Concours, or the Concorso Italiano in Monterey several years back, and I'm walking around and I see a guy wearing a name tag that says, Classic Cars Magazine. I'm like, hey, I read that magazine. I really like that magazine. And it turns out he's the editor of the magazine. So we had a really nice conversation and all this sort of stuff. And I started talking to him about my Alfa Romeo. And he goes, well, maybe you should write an article about your Alfa Romeo. So I did write an article, and they published it. And then a couple months later, I write him back, and I said, hey, the Colorado Grand is coming up. It's, one of the biggest car rallies in the country, and I'm going to go to it. Do you want me to write an article for you for that? And the editor, of course, says, yeah, go ahead. So I also wrote an article about the Colorado Grand. I ended up writing 2 articles for them, for 2 years in a row about the Colorado Grand. So I did have some experience writing articles, and so I used that experience to write this article. And I would say that my photographs in that magazine train me how to take the photographs of my models, but taking photographs of real cars and model cars are two different animals. I had to kind of use trial and error to take these photos, and I'm pretty happy with them, and I'm happy with the article. So anyway, that is my story about my magazine story. And I hope you enjoyed this little video here. And if so, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Have a great day.